It took me a while to realize that the UFC bantamweight division has quite a number of overrated fighters, but who takes the crown? It would have to be between Petr Yan, Corey Sandhagen, and Umar Nurmagomedov. I believe that by the end of this video, I'll be able to convince every rational fan that these fighters are indeed overrated, because if certain claims are made about an individual and they don't live up to those claims, we have good grounds to call them overrated, whether slightly or significantly. Before you continue watching the video, I ask that you help me get to 1,000 subscribers if you enjoy my content. I've always been a fan of Corey Sandhagen because unlike most of the other bantamweights in the top 15, when Umar was looking for a fight to get into the rankings, Corey was the only one actually entertaining it. And he did very well against the most promising fighter the bantamweight division had seen in a while, outstriking Umar in the first 2 rounds and arguably winning some of the grappling exchanges on a few occasions. He also has the most spectacular finishes in the top 15, like the spinning wheel kick he landed on Marlon Morales, or the flying knee he damn near ended Frankie Edgar with. Even if he doesn't finish you, a decision usually favors Corey because of his volume. He'll pop off on you, and right when you want to hit him back, he's no longer in range, courtesy of his good distance management and footwork. I actually think him and Sean have the best footwork in the division simply because of lateral movement, not only using it but knowing exactly when to use it. I'm saying all these nice things about Corey, yet I still think he's overrated. Why? Because people pick him to beat Sean O'Malley. Could he beat Sean? Absolutely. I think the fight would even be close. But what has Corey done for us to be making these claims? He beats most of the fighters in the top 15, but anytime he faces a top 5 guy, he loses. Some of his losses are Aljamain Sterling, Petr Yan, and Umar Nurmagomedov. Sean O'Malley has wins over 2 of those guys, one of which was by KO. You can argue it was a fluke all you want, but at least Sean was able to survive the first round, defending the wrestling of the best wrestler in the division at the time. Even Merab claimed Aljo has the better of the exchanges every time they spar. Corey got submitted by Aljo in the first round. He also got 49-46 by Petr Yan, winning only the first round, whereas Sean O'Malley won his fight against Petr Yan. You might argue that it was a controversial decision, but you can at least conclude that Sean O'Malley did way better than Corey Sandhagen. Moving on to Petr Yan. Petr Yan is a fan favorite for many reasons. He's one of the most well-rounded fighters the UFC has ever seen. He's known to challenge opponents at their strengths and beat them at it, like when he out-wrestled Aljamain Sterling the first time they fought, or outstruck Corey Sandhagen for 4 rounds when he was at a height and reach disadvantage. His boxing is some of the best I've ever seen in the UFC, and he's one of the very few MMA fighters that were able to adapt the high guard to the 4-ounce gloves. It may have a lot to do with the fact that he has a short torso with big arms, so it allows him to shell up and cover most of his body and head. Dricus is another fighter that uses the style very well, and the beauty of it is that it doesn't heavily rely on reflexes that deteriorate the older you get. The worst that could happen if you get clipped with your chin floating in the air is you get a concussion, whereas a high guard covers most of your vital organs and keeps your chin tucked, reducing impact. The reason why I think Petr Yan is overrated is because of 2 claims people make about him. Some people think he's the best striker in the bantamweight division, and others think he won the second fight against Aljamain Sterling. I've watched the Sean O'Malley fight more than a toddler could count, and I don't see how anyone can conclude that Petr Yan had the better striking. He had to resort to grappling to win the fight in the hearts of the fans. Sean O'Malley was the one who had more volume, landing straight punches. Lastly, we have Umar Nurmagomedov, who did not live up to the hype in his fight against Merab Dvalishvili. He won the first 2 rounds on everyone's scorecards, then fatigued in the last 3, getting outstruck and outwrestled by Merab. The fight was a lot more competitive than people make it out to be, but I still wasn't surprised by the outcome of the fight because Umar had to fight one ranked opponent before fighting for the title, and that was Corey Sandhagen. He undebatably beat Corey in all aspects of MMA, but I still noticed how he was struggling to keep Corey down and grapple effectively. Corey was winning some of the scrambles, and that's a bad look when you're going up against someone like Merab. I even made a whole video about this before the fight happened, claiming that Umar has done nothing to prove that he should be the betting favorite going up against Merab. Umar and Petr aren't that overrated because they did have competitive fights with the people I'm claiming did better than them, whereas Corey didn't. So here's a visual representation of how overrated I think each of these fighters are. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.